and here with Robert Stacey, AJA, and at Broadcast Asia. What's going on at the show, Robert?
So we're showing a whole bunch of new things here at the show. Most notably is our new KeyPro recorder called KeyPro Go. Basically, it's a H.264 based multi-channel recorder, so you can record up to 4 channels of HD in H.264 at 1080p 60. It has 5 USB media slots, and it allows you to configure the recordings in multiple ways so that you can record all your primary channels on one USB stick, and then you can have a full redundant recording, or you can mix and match channels as you see fit. It is also Genlock free, so it gives people a lot of flexibility in terms of the types of sources that they can use, and it has both SDI and HDMI inputs. So that's the big
Okay, what's the form factor like?
Yeah, so it's a 2RU half rack form factor, so you can actually fit 2 of them in a 19-inch 2RU space. So you can do up to 8 channels in that configuration. And some people are thinking about mixing and matching those with our KeyPro Ultra Plus recorder, which is also a multi-channel HD, and the KeyPro Go, so that you have both, high resolution ProRes, and then you can have like a lower resolution H.264. One of the thoughts behind this for a lot of people who do live events is that they'll use the ProRes recording for doing their editing of the show, but they have a lot of instances where the client just wants to program out, and they can just hand them the USB stick at the end, so it makes that workflow really simple.
Okay, and would it fit into a streaming workflow as well, like for those live events you mentioned?
So it will. It's not a streaming device,
No.
so it's just a recorder and a player. So
yeah.
Essentially, but you could use it in conjunction with things like Hilo.
Yep.
As part of that workflow. So.
Okay. Now you said people are talking about doing various things with it. So you've had it out in the field for testing.
So we have had.
Yeah.
We've actually. The product's not quite shipping yet, so it's supposed to be shipping at the end of the month. So we've talked to a number of customers, though, who've self-identified the types of workflows that they're looking for. So in that instance, I was in terms of handing the USB stick, I was talking to a client in Australia who does dog racing. They use the KeyPro Ultra Plus, for recording the races, but for individual dog race owners. They're looking to walk away with the stick, so stuff like that, where a customer wants something very specific, and they just want to do a handoff, and it's really easy because the USB media is so inexpensive.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy to do that. So.
Okay, and I guess a dog race isn't that long in duration, so
True.
Yeah.
True.
All right. So what else is here at the show for you guys?
So we've also introduced 2 new IP converters. So we have something called the IPT10G to HDMI and the IPT10G to SDI, and basically these will convert HDMI or SDI signals to 2110 IP video. And so this sort of completes our input and output pairing on both SDI and HDMI in the IP space, because we last year released the IPR versions, which basically take 2110 and convert them to HDMI or SDI. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about that. We also have introduced a new software version for Hilo, version 4.0. We've added a couple new features for it. One is an AV mute function, which basically allows you to put up an image before you start streaming.
Right.
That indicates to people that stream's about to start, so that you don't have all that awkward live camera, but you're not streaming stuff going on. And then also there's a much more sophisticated event logging feature. This was requested by some of our telecommunication client that needs to have much more in-depth error reporting and stuff for packet loss and things like that.
Okay.
So it's a pretty cool feature that I think professional users will appreciate. We also have a new software version for FSHDR, version 3.0. So it adds a new colorfront engine film mode as well as a live mode. So in the film mode, this will allow customers who are interested in using the FSHDR for on-set production to be able to load up different film looks as well as custom LUTs as well. So you can have up to 10 custom LUTs in the device, as well as live integration with things like Comfort Live Grade Pro or TV Logic's Wonderlook Pro, so people can do live grading and updating the box in real time. And then we've also updated the BBC LUTs, and we'll be using version 1.3. And one of the things in that is there's an SR Live mode, so this really is very compatible with like Sony-based workflows. And then we have a new feature set for the HDR image analyzer, so we have version 1.1. So there's a new web UI with support for remote updates, logging and screenshot transfers. So basically, you can basically, when you're doing working with the device, you can take a screenshot capture with all of the relevant information with the waveform and histogram and basically send it on to someone so that they can see what's going on with that. There's also automated color space switching over SDI for SDR, PQ, and hybrid raw gamma, and then a new out of gamut max warning. And it basically provides a warning that if the color goes outside of the P3D65 space. And there's a whole bunch of other workflow enhancements with that. For our desktop users, we have the new desktop software version 15.2. So this basically brings ProRes integration into our AJA control room application, and also allows you to do with our Kona 5 card. You can do 8K capture in ProRes, and this is also supported on Windows and Mac, not just Mac itself. And so with that also, there's some new support for SMPTE 2110 with our Kona IP and our IO IP products, which now will also support 4K UHD 60p in those devices as well. So it's a pretty big move in terms of adding 4K to the IP space for us, and then also there's a new NMOS application for management control.
How do you see the appetite for 4K and UHD in the region, I guess?
In Southeast Asia? Mixed. My bigger thinking is I think there are more opportunities in HDR, and products like the FSHDR, which support 4-channel HD, I think have a really good cost efficiency in terms of people getting that capability. But I think there's a struggle right now for a lot of people in the broadcast space. As an example, 4K is very expensive to upgrade the plant. And if you do you do that on 12G or do you do that on IP? And some workflow questions are still to be worked out on the IP space in terms of doing that in a clean way. We are trying to contribute, with products in the IP space to facilitate that. But I think the whole production chain is not completely worked through there. And then 12G, while it's probably reliable, it's still an expense, and and then there's where's the revenue going to come from?
And are there enough receivers in the market?
Right, and are there enough receivers? Whereas I think for OTT, as an example, I think it's a lot easier to produce content in HDR for OTT. So I think there's a definite opportunity in 4K production for that. But I think in a lot of instances, HDR is a very cost efficient and easy thing to produce for people. So.
Okay. All right. And what else do we have on the stand, or is that about it?
That's all the new stuff on the stand. One other thing, though, that we do have coming later this summer, which we introduced at NAB, is we have a new version of our Corvid family. We have a card called the Corvid 4412G. Basically, it's a very similar in its hardware characteristics to the Kona 5, which is our commercial product. This is really more targeted at OEMs who potentially wish to do 8K development. So we have a low-profile version. Basically, it's 412G IOs, and basically in our latest SDK development kit, we allow developers to do a full 8K 2SI raster for capture as opposed to quadrant. So it makes developing applications for 8K very, very efficient.
Okay. All right. And people at the show, where can they find you?
So they can find us on the 4th floor. I apologize for not knowing the stand offhand, but we have a nice big sign that says AJA, and we're not hard to find. So.
All right, great.
All right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. You bet.